This is unannounced. I always catch grief for for not announcing these. This is impromptu. Figure I was gonna run and could add you guys on it. All right, so got the chat up for those of you that are out there. Good morning, everyone. Gonna be doing an hour-long run this morning. Try to get it in before the little one wakes up. See what happens. We will see what happens. All right. Get it started. Good morning, everyone. I haven't done something like this since I ran the 50K on this treadmill back in 2020, I believe. 2020, I ran that comeback 50K, which is crazy. I think it's like 7 hours on this treadmill as COVID was starting to crack down on us. You guys can say hello. I can see the chat. Got my phone right here, so bump it up to incline. Today is just going to be relatively easy 6-miler. Hour, whatever an hour is going to get me around in there. Good morning. I got the green on. I didn't even plan this. Got the Mizuno. You can see the Clover running shorts on. And the very bright Athletic Equation race shirt that's green. All right. Almost 2 minutes into this hour long. See if I can type at the same time. All right, so what runs does maybe everyone's out on the run this morning. For those of you that's on the East Coast. Sound is picking up a lot of the treadmill sounds, probably. So I've been getting asked what's coming up next for me in races. Typically the 24-hour adventure trail race happens in April, and that was canceled this year. That's the one race I do every April after my February 8-hour race. So I think June is the OSS CIA 50-miler, the nighttime 50-miler. That's in June, and I believe that's the one I'm going to be doing next. Kind of take the place of that race that happens about a third of the way through the year. And then basically I go into training mode over the summer. It will be interesting to have a race that's going to be starting at sunset. It's two 25-mile, 25.5-mile loops. So that's going to be interesting. Looking forward to that. That was actually the first race I ever read about before I started running ultras, probably back in 2013, 2012. Good morning, everyone. You can type in the chat and I can see it. I know I'm going to get beat up for not announcing this for people know to get on, but weekend hasn't been bad on this, but of course when I go live, it's going to be squeaking. Currently set on 3 incline. Let me know how bad that sound is out there at the treadmill. Got to constantly wipe sweat off so I don't completely disgust an eyes. That's the word. The treadmill with sweat. Get up to 3.5 incline. So the major race on my plan this year is the Yeti 100 in September. So ultimately, that's what I'm training for the most, and that's the primary race goal. Primary fitness goal is to lose at least 20 pounds, preferably 25. That's the big goal this year. So that's going to require me doing a little bit more high intensity running, weightlifting, cross training. So that's going to be the big, typically that's not something I have an issue with, because losing weight, never been in the past, but it seems like the last 4 years have been a little bit more of a struggle for whatever reason. So, but I know prior to the last 4 years, I ran a little differently. One mile done. 9:16. I have to spray this squeak down. All right. Got a little bit of a squeak going on here. Take care of. You guys get to see the nonsense I got to deal with this treadmill. This is why squeak. This treadmill is on its last set of legs, and why I've been trying to work with Nordic Track to set up something with them so I can get one of their nice ones in here. They've been getting free advertisement in this on this channel for a number of years. This being in the background of all these videos. So Nordic Track, if you're listening, come on now. All right. Coming up on 10 minutes into the hour-long run. Hopefully I'll get my long run in tomorrow, but I got softball practice usually on Sunday, so got to get up early, get the long run in tomorrow. I'm kind of in maintenance mode right now since my next ultra is in for 3.5 months. Probably do a 12 week block before that. But I'm going to be hitting the weights and cross training hard over the next month going into that incline setting 4.0. Morning, everyone. Feel free to say hello. So Yeti 100, September, that's the main focus for training this year and losing weight. Going to be prioritized almost over everything right now. But having the 50 miler in June, even when it's overnight, starting at dusk, sundown, finishing at 8:30 in the morning. Virginia, that ought to be pretty humid. That's actually the latest into the summer I've ever done an ultra, so see how that goes. Should be interesting. Again, that was one of the first races I ever read about when I started researching races in my area. Good morning, running Greek girl. Greek? I'll say that wrong. How are you? Running geek girl. Can you hear me? I don't know how much the treadmill is overpowering the sound. So, geek girl, are you post run or are you pre-run right now on your Saturday? You can hear me? That's good. I haven't done a setup like this since that 50K I did back in, I don't know, this time in 2020. 50K, 31 miles on a treadmill. That video is still up. People still watch that. Can you believe that? I know they don't watch the whole thing, but pre-run. About to make breakfast for the kids. I'm lucky. I'm trying to get this in before my 4-year-old wakes up, because she'll be down here. And everyone else is sleeping, shockingly, in my house. A bunch of teenagers. Well, my son did have to get up and go lift for baseball. The funny thing is, when I do my morning runs, I enjoy the peace and quiet so much, I end up just drinking my coffee and sitting in front of my computer, wasting time, instead of getting down here. I was kind of running into the conflict that I needed to record this morning, but I also needed to run, so. Oh. Currently running between 3.5 and 4 on the incline here. Trying to give the legs a little bit more of a workout without upping the speed. Keeps it a little more quiet. And running along at like a 940 right now. 3.5. Whew. Well, good luck on your race or on your run this morning. Running geek girl. Have fun with the kiddos. I've been talking about my running plan for the year so far. It's a little lighter. Typically in April, I have the 24-hour adventure trail race. That got canceled, so I'm adding in for the first time the OSS CIA 50 milers a night. 50 miler starts at sunset and ends the next morning. So that's going to be interesting. 2 25-mile loops. But luckily, it's around the park that I train in and have run many, many races. But I've never run that loop configuration of 25 miles, though. So that ought to be fun. After this run of an hour, I'm going to do some lifting. And then I got stuff to do around the house for the wife. So, rainy here in Virginia, which feels like it's every day during this time of year. Morning, everyone. I got my phone in front of me, so Kevin. No, I didn't run in the rain this morning. I should have. What's up, Joe? Oh, Joe's getting ready to get started on the mat. So you're wrestling today. Busy man this time of year. Staying with me with baseball. Kevin's calling me out on not running in the rain, which is a good call. Mile 2 done. 9:44. No, Kevin, I was going to record this morning. Got started a little later. So I decided to try to get my time to be used the best I can. Get an hour run in, then lift. And then be attacked by my 40-year-old when she gets up. 50K today. I'm probably going to do a, 1/3 of a 50K today, Jeff. I'm just kidding. I won't even get to that. I'm doing an hour-long run. And Joe, you might not remember, but I don't know if you were around the channel then, but I ran a 50K on this at this time of year in 2020. Ran 7 hours on the treadmill. As you can tell, the squeak is annoying. Having a hard time reading. Considering the amount of rain last year, you've had to adapt. I actually like running in the rain too. I don't dislike it. Shorter races like 50K, I love running in the rain. Keeps your body cool. Yeah, raining had no effect on me running outside this morning. I just was trying to, from a time-wise standpoint, get down here quickly, get a run in, hopefully film something other than this. But I figure I can knock out a couple birds with one stone, get on chat live with whoever was up, and try to get a lift in. I have to get better at getting my lifts in at least 3 times a week. You say 90 degrees in the sun. Whew. Almost lost you guys. All right. $90 degrees in the rain, yes. 40 degrees in the rain, no. Definitely, we've been through that, Joe. It is rough. Definitely not high 30s on a mountain at altitude during a 100-miler. Nearing mile 60, Joe. That's the kryptonite. All right, man. Have fun, Joe. Keep those kids in line. I'm 23 minutes into this 1-hour run. If you're wondering why I'm using a towel so much, I'm trying to keep my treadmill as clean as possible. So I have to wipe it down, but I don't want it to be completely soaked. Hopefully Joe can get out to the Yeti 100. He's run it with me the last 2 years. Hopefully he can get out there this year and pace me for the second half-ish. Does anyone have any ultras coming up here recently or soon? If you do, just type them in the chat. I feel like we're getting up on the end of, at least in this area, of ultras happening. Virginia's brutal in the summer, so with the humidity. Last year in April, I had to drop out of the 24-hour race because of heat stroke, which was the first time I've ever had to do that in that race in like 5 runnings. The humidity was just so high. Sorry about the squeak. Kevin said I ran a 10K road 2 weeks ago. Nothing planned for the month yet. Okay. You know, I got the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 2s from Mizuno and Super Shoe. And running in those has actually made me want to start entering some of the shorter races again. Because those are fun. My favorite races used to be 10Ks and half marathons. Kevin said I should probably get something I have my glasses on. Something together. Still training. Yeah, currently I don't have anything in the near future except for June right now. And that's tentative. That's the plan. That was an audible call. 50 miler in June. But maybe I'll look for some shorter races. Always fun. Trail half marathons are super fun. My first official trail race was a trail half marathon. That's when I learned racing in the woods was much more fun than on the roads. All the roads have their benefits too. Not gonna lie. Dropping the incline down to 2.5 for a moment. Down from 4. All right, see if I can get that squeak to stop a little bit. It's amazing. I don't ever run on flat. I always run on this between 2 and 4, no matter what type of run. So anytime I drop it down, it feels like I'm running downhill. Mile 3, 28:28. 9 minutes, 27 seconds. Terrible. Good morning, everyone who's joining on just halfway through an hour-long run, talking about my year, what I have planned. What I'd really like to do is run the Yeti 100 in September, which I'm already signed up for, and also do the Daytona 100 in December. Go down and see my mom, that's in Daytona. Kevin said there's a night race for Halloween in fall, like to do in Vermont. That's one state I've never been to, Vermont. There's probably a couple states I've never been to, but Vermont, the one I want to, that I've never been to. Heard it's very pretty. And ultimately, I'd like to get out west, race in Colorado, in Northern California. That would be some areas I would love to go running in the mountains. All right, some agua. If you're wondering, I'm running, cruising along around 930s, 945s, or 940s. Kevin said used to ski a lot. Yeah, my uncle used to live in Vermont when he was in boarding school back in the 80s. He was a skier. He said he loved it up there. They probably got some nice trails up in Vermont, I would assume. "32 minutes down. Moose Lamoo Ultra? I've not heard of that. What distance is it, or is it multiple distances? That's the one you're interested in. July 27th. How many distances does it have in the race? "14 and 36. Is that the miles? Hot down here. Leave the fan on. Huh. That's interesting. little over a half, and a little bit over a 50K. "34 minutes into 1 hour. Wonder what is it? So is it in the mountains? I'm assuming it's on trails. Yeah, okay. 14 miles, that's a good distance. Just to add a race in here and there. Wish I had more of those around here. Three miles, 73. 3.73, that is. Haven't eaten anything this morning, so I'm getting hungry. Feel my stomach. Usually I at least have a banana. This was an impromptu decision just to get it done without delaying it any further. Got too much stuff to do today to procrastinate. So from a maintenance standpoint, I've been bringing in some jogging and power hiking with my wife, because since last May, she has been power hiking, not just leisurely walking, probably 20 to 30 miles a week. So she's crushing it. Lost like 30 pounds. And I'm trying to slowly bring her over to the running side. I can get her to do some jogging in between on some workouts, but we'll see. I'd love to get her in a 50K, just power hike it with some a little bit of jogging. That'd be cool. Be cool for me. I don't know if she'd like that. She probably wouldn't even take me up on that. Doing that is not her goal at all. She doesn't really even care about running. So. But she likes staying consistent with her workout, so I support her by going with her so that she can do that at night and times when she probably couldn't do it by herself. So I join her, which helps me work on my power hiking. Working on your power hiking helps a lot in 100 milers and any ultra. 4 miles, 38 minutes. Last mile 9:34. Pretty consistent. Obviously, I'm on a treadmill. Definitely mixing it up though, effort-wise, with the incline. So I'm bouncing this incline between pretty much 3 and 4. Right now the heart rate's high 130, 138, 140. 3.5 incline. Not bad at all. And training with my wife, it's actually been a lot of fun. We're getting to spend probably 7 to 9 more hours a week together, like alone, out on the road. So been doing that for many months, so that's awesome. I think she's greatly appreciated that too. You married folks with kids can understand that. It's a rare thing. Try to stop this squeaking again. Hold up. Now you guys can see why I need a treadmill. This thing's like 7, 8 years old now. Cannot stand that squeaking. I've had to duct tape the plastic that covers the base down there because that smacks around. Oh. All right, that helped. "40 minutes into an hour-long run. Your control fried. A couple of years ago. Coach train is the race after. That sounds interesting. On the treadmill, this is actually the second treadmill I've had, well, maybe the third. This in recent years, I used to have 2 down here in the studio. And that one was not a super fancy one. The other one, if you go back in my videos years and years and years ago, but it did the work. I put thousands of miles on that treadmill and it just died. And this was the one I bought for my wife, so she could run next to me when I was on these long runs, these 4 and 5 and 6 hour runs. The family could rotate onto the other treadmill and join me. But since the other one died, this has been the one. And that's been at least 7 years. And again, I have a lot of brands reach out, but Nordic Track is the one I really, or Peloton, any of the brands that have a good commercial heavy duty treadmill would be fantastic. But then I can continue to preach my love for treadmills and using them in training, and they can be highlighted in these videos. Spin bike. I want one of those too. I have a big basement, but the other half of the studio is like a little living room. Don't have enough room to have the weight bench and the weights and a TV and stuff over there. But I would definitely love to get a spin bike. Just be able to mix up the cardio, muscle groups, stuff like that. Maybe I'll get that. Squeeze it in somewhere. Reconfigure the studio. But I definitely would love to be able to mix up the different types of cardio. Back when I had a gym membership, I used to spend a lot of time on the bike. I think the old treadmill I had, the board fried too. It wouldn't turn on anymore, so I'm assuming that's what happened. But since we already had another, that one went to the trash. Use it once a week. Get a different workout. Yeah, that's definitely what I would like to do. Something like that. Ooh, 4.5 incline. These hour-long uphill sessions. Oh, so fun. I could definitely tell the difference though with running uphill a lot more, training at least, when I get out on the trails. It definitely translates well from the treadmill to the trails. Just past 45 minutes of one hour. Still running around 9:30s. 4.5 incline right now. You added rings, calisthenics. Yeah, I definitely need to get better about cross training. I do a lot of body weight squats and push-ups and curls, but I need to start adding in burpees and a lot more body weight type stuff, also strengthening my core. Definitely, as you get older, the strength training is super key. It's almost as important as the actual running itself from a injury deterrent standpoint. I'll drop down to 3 on the incline. Can you hear that squeak? It's super loud. That's what happens when I go down to 0. Thing just bangs. Stupid treadmill. Good morning, everyone. Coming up on the last 11 and a half minutes of this hour-long run. Appreciate people hopping on, saying hello. That squeaking is making me want to throw this in the backyard. All right. Who's got long runs tomorrow and how far? I'm probably going to do a 2-hour run. I do mine by time. Probably going to do a 2-hour run tomorrow morning. So I got to make sure I get my rear in bed tonight. 12 miles. A good distance. All right, back up to 4.5. 12 up trail. My daughter has softball practice. So it makes it hard for me to get up in the mornings and get out. There's some great trails in Connecticut. I bet there are. We have a lot of really beautiful trails in Virginia too. A lot of great mountain trails. Obviously the Appalachian Trail runs through Virginia for quite a long ways. Yep, kids first, always. That's why I have to train so much at ball fields. Running around practices and games. 5, 5.5, 6 incline. Can you hear that squeak, Kevin? Mine are grown and out. Well, I have 2 that are grown and out. One that's getting ready to be this year. Another high schooler. And 4-year-old. So I'm on the hook for quite a while. I wouldn't have it any other way, though. I love watching baseball and softball. You coach travel softball for 2 girls. I coach travel baseball and baseball in general for many years. I have not coached softball, but I spend a lot of time at travel softball games. And my daughter, my 14-year-old, just made the varsity softball team in her high school. So I have my son on varsity. And so is my daughter. But my son is committed to play college baseball, so he'll be playing in college. So fortunately blessed to continue to get to watch my son play a game he's loved his whole life, same as me. So extremely excited to watch that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's been a goal since he was probably about 11. He wasn't playing 2 seasons a year. We've had kids in softball, baseball, you know that 1 season isn't enough per year. And I used to be a Cub Scout leader. And so we made a decision. I asked him if he wanted to play college baseball, if that was a goal. He said yes. I said I would support you to give you the opportunity, but that he would have to get the grades and earn it. And he held up his side of the deal. Got an academic and athletic scholarship. Wife is texting me. I'm finishing up my run streaming right now. Give me like 10 minutes. So the little one's up right now. 55 minutes into this run. Told Mom to hold her at bay. Your son did scouts too? Yeah. I was a scout master or scout leader for I think 5 years, 6 years. A lot of fun camping and definitely good memories. But once they leave the house, which I've had too, all those things you get to spend time with them doing. And so it's super nice to be able to have him play college ball. To be able to kind of extend that stuff. Did a lot of events, yeah. Scouts is definitely cool. But when we went to Boy Scouts, he was had to make a decision because baseball became a year-round thing. Lots of sleepovers. We did lots of camping, which was cool. Campfires and s'mores, cooking over the fire. Yeah, agreed. Definitely a lot of good lessons to be learned in Scouts. Useful stuff. I did Scouts too when I was little. Sub-Zero badge. I don't know if we ever hit Sub-Zero, but we were definitely in some cold fall camping trips where I had to have the heater in the tent and just turn it on and off every so often to warm the tent up. Those are rough. Just hit 6 miles, 57, 51. He was active, but never got his eagle. It's a big achievement. Yeah, it's a lot of work. My son stopped Scouts. Once he got into Boy Scouts, he did it for, I think, a year. And then baseball just took over. He didn't have time to commit to two things like that. They slept in the snow. That's hardcore. Definitely hardcore. Definitely never did that. 1 minute to go. Just past the, we're getting ready to hit the 10K mark. Yeah, sleeping in a tent in the snow is definitely next level. We did it in the high 30s, low 40s, and that was brutal. I can imagine sub-freezing. I'm sure kids can have fun at anything. It's amazing what the kids will have fun with. That is it.